Well, I think we're live on this wonderful Monday night. I don't know how the weather is up at your place, but it's cold as hell here.
Yeah, it's pretty chilly. It was nice over the weekend.
I know yesterday I was in a t-shirt. Today I have to wear a coat. Do, 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 do. Alrighty. There we are.
We were getting echo real bad. I think I got it shared everywhere.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. All right. Hang
Let
around a
me
little bit
let me make
here and
let me make
see if
sure.
we get some guys on, huh?
Yeah. Can you see who's there? Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I see. Yeah, you can.
I can see there's two people watching. That's about
Yeah.
it.
We got a lot done over the weekend, but that weather brought the boat home. Had leaves and stuff that got on it last fall. I was late getting it put into storage and stored it at a friend of mine's house, and it set over winter with some leaf stains on it. So I got it back here, cleaned it, got it looking pretty good. And then last night the storms came through, and all the buds off the trees, the little red buds off these, I think they're maple trees or whatever out here,
Oh yeah, yeah. We have a
all
bunch of those.
over.
Yeah,
So I've got little red stains all over the boat now. So I gotta get a cover, get it under roof, something. But
get the
it's gonna
buffer
come in here
out.
pretty quick. Yeah, it's gonna be buffing. It's coming in here soon, but I was hoping to have it in here tonight, but I just didn't get that far.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna run up and grab. I got some new goodies here. Maybe I'll just show them off while we're waiting. Not really
Right
anything
on.
too impressive, but I'll be right
Yeah,
back.
good grab it.
Okay, we're back. I I kind of wanted to give a shout out to Evil Energy just because for what they are and all the more that there's, especially their hoses and fittings, for all the more that they cost, they're very. My entire car is nothing but Evil Energy hoses and fittings. I've not had one single problem. So I got. I'm going to do a closed PCV system on my car. I'm tired of it stinking. I'm tired of it venting the atmosphere and coming in my goddamn cab. So I got some hose and some fittings. I got two of these close 90s. You can see that.
So you just have it venting, like just hose underneath your car, or what are you doing?
I have a PCV valve, and then I have my breathers to a catch can that vents the atmosphere. Um, but I'm limited on space, and for me to even have that catch can somewhat even level with the valve covers, I have it on my firewall and on a heavy boosted pool.
You smell
It's
it
kind of
through the.
bad. So my theory is I'm going to have this This is a my green screen might have
Yeah, what is that?
a
It's
green
messing with
screen.
you. Hold it in front of your chest because it looks like your shirt. We might be able to see it.
Oh. This
There you
is
go.
a Radium Engineering boosted PCV valve. So this has, the way that this is set up is it's not just an open or closed type of check valve like a regular PCV. This meters the amount of air that it allows to come through based on the actual manifold vacuum. And when it's positive, when I'm under positive pressure boost, then it also acts as a one-way check valve, so it won't put pressure into the crankcase, but it meters how much it lets out depending on, where you're at in the throttle. So hopefully, it's supposed to not make it act like basically how I have a check valve in there now. It's kind of just like a permanent vacuum leak, really.
So where it vents to atmosphere at your catch can, have you thought about running it over? I know you don't have much exhaust after. Could you run it from your firewall and catch your exhaust pipe going through the fender there to help pull some of that?
Well, that's the next step. That's the next part.
That might help put like a negative pressure on it to help pull some of that through. I don't know. I know you don't have. You're probably still going to smell it, but maybe if it's out away from your cowl, I imagine a lot of that smell is coming through the cowl.
I have
your wipers.
Two closed catch cans. So it's going to be one of these for each valve covered side by side. And the in is obviously going to come from the valve cover in. And then the out, they are going to go to my turbo inlet. So that's going to pull vacuum under boost from those. If you understand what I'm saying. Kind of like the exhaust, but not the exhaust. And that is basically where I did not come up with this idea. That is how a PCV system on a Nissan Skyline is.
Yeah, so I know a lot of the diesel trucks, especially the Ford 6.7s, have diesels have the that CCV. All of them do have problems with the CCV plugs up, and the Ford 6.7s are real bad about it. They'll start pushing oil between the intake or valve cover, whatever. It's kind of both. The intake and rocker cover are the same thing.
Yeah,
and there's a thin metal gasket there, and they'll build up enough crankcase pressure that they'll start pushing oil out of them. And a lot of guys will put the CCV delete in, run the hose down, and they'll put it into their exhaust back a little ways.
See, I had wanted to do I thought about doing a burn down tube on my exhaust, but I just don't think I have any room to be able to do that without probably actually having it right at the very end of it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I'm going to try for now. Oh, this is a Orb 10 bung I have to weld onto my valve cover so I can run the PCV valve.
Nice. Yeah. Well, that'll be pretty nice.
And the fancy new Robert Shaw flow cooler thermostat I got.
What temperature thermostat you running?
180.
180.
So especially in like the colder weather, turboed, intercooled, plus my aluminum radiator. I kind of think what's happening is my thermostat, it's running right like 170, right at 178, 180 cruising down the road. Then when I go to get on it and build some boost, I don't think the thermostat it's not hanging wide open. You know what I mean? Because of the
Right.
temperature. So when I get on it, there's lag there with that thermostat, and I think that's why I blew that heater core bypass hose. I think it just saw a quick flash of pressure and couldn't get rid of it. So I'm gonna try this hot flow, high performance fucking thermostat. It's all guess and check. You just buy stuff, you use it, and it works, or it doesn't.
Right. Have you tried a cooler thermostat in that?
Yeah, I tried running a 165 last year, and it actually, what it did was it didn't keep cooling in the radiator long enough, so it actually ran hotter. If that makes any sense.
Yep. There's a period of time the coolant has to be in the radiator to exchange that heat.
Yeah, and that was actually something I learned that I didn't actually didn't know that off the top of my head.
Right. That's why taking the thermostat out sometimes will cause them to run hotter than normal than you would expect because
Yeah,
it's leaving the radiator too fast. It's
if it
going
doesn't
through.
sit, radiator a heat exchanger, so if it doesn't sit in there long enough to be cooled down, I mean, it only makes sense that it's not going to cool down.
Right.
But, yeah, the weather's not going to cooperate, so I probably won't be. I probably won't be working on the old girl for a little while. Yeah. Well, at least for the next couple of days, I think it's supposed to be cold. I think it's supposed to get down to 20 tonight again.
Yeah, I haven't even looked. I think it's supposed to warm back up though toward the end of the week, right?
Yeah, I think so. We have
like here it's 30 overnight, like 30s, 27, 37. It's like 43, 52, 65, and then Thursday 80, back to 54 degrees. What the heck?
You get one good, nice day, and you're like, oh, this is nice. And then it's shitty again.
Yeah, it's going to go from 80 back to 54, 48, 55. I don't know. Hey, as long as we stay away from these 30s, I don't care. I was not happy to walk out this morning into this crap.
I did run into some interesting tuning stuff over the weekend.
I did too.
Well, why don't you start?
Well, you want me to start? Well,
if you want, if you don't want, if you have to think about it, I can go.
I had one with the barometric pressure was way off. He actually has a fault, like the air sensor error showing a 127 fault or whatever for the barometric pressure, the BAP sensor. We were able to get it to run, but that skewed that whole VE table. Like at idle, it's saying the VE's at like 95%, 92%, at idle. So, which we know at idle, there's no way that it's 92%, volume in that cylinder, in the cylinder. So yeah, it's way out of whack. So, and there could be some other issues with his ECM. I think he's working with ACES right now to come up with a solution or replace it. I'm not sure what's happening on that end, but I think without seeing that, having that barrel working correctly, there's nothing we can do to really tune it.
And
we got it to run, but that's pretty much all.
And that's when you and I found out that barometrics actually read through a hole on the back of the ECU.
Through the BAP hole.
The BAP hole, thanks to Ken Janow from Hardcore Chassis.
Yeah, I appreciate him letting you know that, as I wasn't sure. I mean, that's where most of them are read, and then when you said, look at the back of it, I seen that it had the hole there. So, yeah, that's something. I've got an ECM handy here. I can grab it real quick, show people.
Yeah.
Plug it from the connectors are tight. Hopefully we can get this on the camera.
Oh yeah, may not. Oh yeah, you can just that
Let me
little.
turn some light on here. Maybe.
Yeah,
Right
you can
here,
kind of
right here
see
where my finger is.
that little divot there. You can kind of see. So, yeah,
Right
it's just tiny.
there. It's
So we had
very hard to see.
initially. This is the first him or I ever ran into this problem, and we were consulting with each other on it. And we had initially both thought that barometric was read through the map sensor, but it's actually not. It's read through the back view, which is good to
I
know.
honestly wasn't sure. I know that
Yeah.
Megasquirt and a lot of companies have a barometric pressure sensor on the ECU. A lot of your OEM does as well, but I wasn't sure how they were, how ACES was pulling it off.
I mean, at least he didn't go out and buy a $70 map sensor or something, that he didn't need.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I'm sure
He's able to get it to start. He's like it runs and idles good, but I mean we know obviously he can't. He's idling at like 28 kPa and like 92 volumetric efficiency in those cells. I mean, as soon as he accelerates, it's going to go off the rails, and it's also boosted, so he's got a turbo. So yeah, once he goes into boost, that I think
Mhm.
the max on that VE table is 160. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely has everything skewed, and it's holding good. His AFRs are right. We got everything to run, but yeah, it's just. But that
Uh,
was kind of a new one to me to see, and I have some data on that. I should have been a little more prepared. I got a data log. I could pull it up so you could see that. I may try to do that next time before we
yeah.
talk again, just so you have. I'll send them over to you for sure, so you can just see what it looked like.
Actually, you
That's
did
that's
send
the
me.
key.
You sent me a video, I think,
I
of it.
did. I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah. It looks pretty odd to see, a VE number that high, but yet still be dialed in. It looks like it's your AFRs are perfect, and then when you look over at the VE table, you're like, how's that running? I mean, this should be running like 2-to-1 fuel ratio or something.
Mhm.
Should be at least double. I mean, at idle speeds, I can't imagine. I mean, most engines are going to be somewhere probably between 40 and 60, depending
Yeah.
on camshaft and things like that. Somewhere in that area is going to be, stock camshaft, something that makes good vacuum. You could possibly be in the 40, 50, or 50 to 60, maybe V versus a chunky cam. You're probably going to be more like 40, 45,
Hmm.
50s, depending on where you have your AFR set. I mean, if your AFR set
Yeah,
pretty rich, you may be higher than
huh,
that. Yeah.
I could show you a VE table for a big lumpy cam. It's almost like it's a very steep slope. Well, my problem was with a guy, Killshot 2, and he didn't realize. He didn't realize this had happened with that PDM. He had everything wired up. It was from the questions I asked him and everything. Everything was wired up correctly as far as I could, gather. And what it did was it wouldn't shut off. And I've heard of people saying it on the forums and stuff that they couldn't get it to shut off.
Hmm.
Um, but his whatever was going on there, it kept the ECU powered on, and it actually kept the coil hot. And so the car had sat out, and it was powered up until the battery died, and it
So that coil
melted
was probably 300 degrees or something.
it melted the plastic on the coil, and
Yeah.
I'm almost 100% sure we did a ton of troubleshooting, diag, and everything comes back to that from that being that way, the coil driver in the ECU is now fried. So
So
he's
did he take it away from the PDM and hook it directly to the battery to make sure that ECU was
yeah,
working, or and still not
It'll
right now.
it'll power up. We had it, everything. It'll power up, everything fine. Power up.
Did you try a new coil before that? I mean, that you're saying that even with a different coil, it's acting funny now.
Yep. It won't. It won't. With a test light on coil negative, it doesn't pulse.
Hmm.
And yeah, he tried a different known brand new coil, and yeah.
I will say with that one that's melted, still hooked together, it may look like you have a coil driver bad, but
Yeah.
I
Oh
would
yeah.
assume it has some protection in it, circuits in it. But yeah, that's bad news.
That's just what we think. He's going to consult with Aces. Going to get in touch with their techs and see. You know, they deal with that stuff all the time, and more so than I do.
Yeah, I've seen the old school, the old round coils, get super hot, laying on the back of an engine back there.
Oh yeah,
just
the old oil field. Yeah.
put your arm back there and like, whoa, why is that thing so hot? The engine's, engine hasn't ran in 2 days. Well, there was power going to the coil. It'll fry those coils in a hurry.
I did tune yesterday. I did tune a Fox Body Mustang, and he's going to be at Ponies in the Smokies. So that's going to get me. I overnighted him some stickers. He said, I'm taking them, leaving Wednesday at 3 a.m. I'm going to Ponies in the Smokies. If you have a banner or something. I said, well, I don't have a banner. All I have is stickers. I said, I can try to overnight you the stickers. You wouldn't believe what UPS charges for overnighting a envelope. I got some stickers on the way down there, so hopefully he can hand some out.
That's a pretty neat little car. I seen it on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
That thing looks like a pretty cool little build. Well,
Ripped.
maybe we could get him to come on some night, talk about it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he'd love to. Yeah.
I'd like to talk to him.
That thing rips pretty good. 351. I can't remember exactly all the details on it, but it's 11-to-1 compression.
That's legit.
Yeah. Manual.
Nice.
Running the Joker.
Nice.
Running the Joker system with a factory Ford intake on it.
So I wish that I would have found it before now, but I found the factory big block Mercruiser multi-port.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wanted to do multi-port so bad on my boat. It wasn't. When I started looking at the different style of intakes, because of where the thermostat housing and the hoses and stuff, I was afraid of it, like the one that Aces sells, like the fabricated sheet metal one for a big block with the throttle body and linkage and everything there. And, the thermostat housing sets way up. There's hoses coming in from three different, well, actually there's 4 hoses, 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top that go out to the exhaust risers. Without doing something different with piping and stuff, I really wanted to do the multi-port. And then I just ran into a guy selling the whole intake, upper and lower intake off the multi-port. They run an EV1 injector for the big block. It was actually for like a 496 or whatever, but I should be able to, they should bolt right on my big block. And then I could have used a Joker system on that or wild card. It'd probably be the Joker be the way to go.
Yeah, that would be
kind of bummed. I'm kind of bummed I didn't go that route, but we're gonna try out the Killshot 2. I think it'll be an upgrade from what I've dealt with recently with that thing. But
yeah, I think you'll probably be pretty pleased with it.
But future plans, if I get crazy, next year and go to the supercharger route, that would have much rather had that multi-port. And you never know. I may pick one up and go that direction anyway. So we'll see.
I don't think I'm gonna build, not unless I find it absolutely necessary. I don't personally think I'm gonna build another blow through TBI setup. Not that it's not good, but it's just not the most efficient way. I don't
Right.
think.
I think the cylinder to cylinder distribution
Yeah,
too could be a lot of that with, I'm sure there's people smarter than me that can tell you, but trying to boost that and get fuel. I'm sure there's some funky stuff that happens on a blow through setup that you wouldn't necessarily have as much problems with a multi
yeah,
port, I would think. But
yeah. You can tell in the difference between data logs too how much, uh, just how better, like the acceleration enrichment and stuff is, just how much smoother the fuel comes on and how it doesn't spike. You don't have that massive delay in the fuel getting to the cylinder.
right. There was a guy I posted that picture the other day. A guy asked about how are you going to run an oxygen sensor? Well, I'm going to run a single right there in between the exhaust
Hmm.
riser and the manifold itself. There's a adapter block. So I posted a picture of it. So yeah, the ACES systems call for putting it into your exhaust and being 8 or 10 inches past the collector. We're not going to be able to do that obviously on that. So hopefully it'll be okay. I have no doubt I'll probably water soak a couple of O2 sensors before it's all said and done. But
Yeah, probably, but
I'm going to try my best. But we're going to, as long as I don't have any problems, I'll run an oxygen sensor. If not, the backup
just don't
plan
even
for
run
that
one.
is,
Yeah.
huh?
I said, yeah, if you start having a bunch of problems, just don't even run one.
Right. It'll be open loop tuned, and that'll be the plan going in. If I have to pull the oxygen
Very,
sensors in and out.
very, very much easier to do an open loop tune when it's yours and you're there with it. Open loop
Yes.
tunes are not something that I'd prefer to do remotely.
Yeah, I think you would have to have some pretty good feedback to do that.
Yeah. Then the lag that which I don't know if it's my internet or if it's just my computer not being the latest and greatest, but when there's definitely some lag with AnyDesk too. You're not seeing you're not seeing everything as fast as it's actually happening.
But I'm actually thinking about doing the. So I have like the AM. I don't remember what model it is. It's the one that this one has the CAN network stuff, so you can use it in the newer. Um, I think it's '07 or newer GM. You can actually send data into the CAN network for your
Mm,
AFR. This will read Lambda, AFR,
hmm.
gas, diesel, whatever. I'm thinking about running. I know the Killshot 2 only has the one oxygen sensor. But I'm also thinking about using two spacers. That way I could put this one in for some testing here. I want to see how the ACES stacks up with this, like on your air fuel ratio. So I'm kind of curious to see if
I
there's
know
any.
The kill shot 2 compared to the kill shot 1, the speed of correction is so much faster. As
Right.
as far as reading the closed loop data and making the correction, it's a lot faster than my kill shot 1.
Mhm. Not that I think the kill shots are going to read fine. I'm just out of my curiosity just to
Oh yeah,
see.
just to
I
compare them.
mean, this this oxygen sensor from them is I think like $250 or something. So
Hmm.
it's a little bit different style wideband. So I'm curious just to know. I probably shouldn't do it on a boat where might get it wet, but
It's only
But
money.
I use that with HP tuner stuff. So when I'm tuning, I'll pull the oxygen sensor out. Actually, one of the customers I done a lot of work for, we we added an extra bung.
Hmm.
So he has
More than anything.
his is catless. So he has his narrow bands in the front, and then just right when they wire together, that one is we added a bung to put the wideband in. So
Mhm.
we drive down the road with the cord zip tied to the mirror, and so we can pull some good data logs on it. Tried to talk him into just buying one, so he has it in there all the time.
Yeah.
But now he's pretty well dialed in. I don't think he really needs it now, but
Yeah, it's getting to be the time of year as well that if you tuned anybody in the cold, they're going to be reaching out for tuning in the warm.
yeah, and that's what I tell people. I know, sometimes they're worried about once you have a tune with me, and I don't know how you do it. I'm the kind of guy that we live in Indiana, you live in Pennsylvania. I get it first, and Nick gets it probably a day later. We probably share the same weather.
Yep,
We're
pretty damn close.
located pretty much the same.
My weather pretty much comes across your state in the same height where it comes across. It definitely hits you and then me, that's for sure.
I think you pretty much live due east of me, so I think we're pretty much the same. So we see about the same crappy weather, but we see negative temperature. I mean, I think this winter we had some negative 18s.
Yeah, we did.
The wind chills are way down there, and then we see, we see high 90s to sometimes 100, 103 degrees. It could get really hot in the summertime, so that's a big swing. So people were worried about it. I know some tuners will only do like 90 days or whatever on revisions. I pretty much, unless you've went in and made some big major change, you've changed cam or intakes, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy a tune for me. I'm going to back it up for obviously 12 months, but you got access to send me your tune file, and I'm going to look at it. We're not going to go in and do a retune.
No.
But as far as revisions, you have something goofy going on, I'm gonna pop in there, look at it, try to help a guy out, kind of indefinitely if you have me doing the tuning. Definitely 12 months on revisions. I mean, we're not gonna go in and retune every time that you need to change a spark plug, you fouled a plug out or you did something weird, whatever. But we're gonna go in there, especially like you just said, from spring to fall to winter to summer. You go to fire that thing up, you can't cold start it because it's 30 degrees out. We're going to get in there and help you. And I'm probably speaking a little bit for you too. I'm sure you're going to too.
No, I'm the same way. I mean, unless you're messaging me 3 or 4 times a day, every single day, then I'm probably going to help you out. As long as you're not getting in the wing with it.
90 days here, you're not going to see the extremes of weather. I mean, so you would be. I think 90 days is not enough. You can guess on a lot of, and as your tune's dialed in, we can get pretty daggone close. I mean, but there's going to be, I can pretty much tell what that thing's going to do at 60. If we're dialed in at 60 and we're going to work good at 90 degrees, I can look at some of the temperature-based tables, and it should be pretty good. But there's a big difference when you get all the way down to, those. I'd say anything below freezing.
Which a lot of stuff, I don't know about you either, but a lot of the stuff that I tune's not really even driven in cold weather.
Right.
There is some, you get the occasional, pickup truck with a kill shot or even a jackpot in it where it's a daily driver, so.
Yeah. Well, I've got some customers in Canada, and I know they're still seeing some pretty cold weather up there too right now.
Oh yeah.
Matter of fact, I've got one tonight. We have a live session tonight here at 7 o'clock. With big block with a big cam in it. So it's probably going to have, it's not going to like life starting in those 18-degree temperatures or.
No, and that might not, with a big cam, that is gonna essentially, you can get it to a point, but after a certain point, that's the nature of the mode of the big setup.
Yeah. And especially if you're trying to set and run at 700-800 RPM, so it sits there and chugs and lopes and sounds cool. Wintertime, it may be smart to bump that thing up a little bit, bump her up to 950 or something. Let it have a little more because those are going to be a little tougher to fire up cold for sure, and and possibly even your tip and stuff. That's all going to kind of change a little bit with weather.
Yeah, that temperature based TPS and map enrichment table, for the wall wetting and whatnot. That temperature based table, that's a good thing to think about when you're getting some colder weather too. It's based on coolant temps, obviously.
Right.
You know,
I could see it needing any tuning on that, and it's a custom thing.
oh yeah,
Anytime
on
you do that, you're going to need to. I
per
mean,
motor.
that
I mean,
I mean
per
that kind
every
of leads
single.
me into a little bit of what I talked about earlier. Even Chat GPT is going to have to go back in there and make you know these. I've seen a lot of that here lately. Guys talking about, well, I did the wizard tune, it didn't run. I went to the next best thing. They're going into Chat GPT and trying to get Chat GPT to make tuning changes for it. And I think the day will be here. I mean, there's going to be a time that I think, as long as you have the right data to put in, it could spit out some pretty legit numbers. But as of right now, I haven't seen anything good. And then I'll put it out there: if you have tuned your any, I don't care if it's Aces, Holly, whoever,
without
if
without having a tuning background. If you never tuned a vehicle and don't know anything about an engine,
I'm just saying, if you have a Chat GPT or any AI tune on your car and it starts and runs good, send me a data log. I want to see it. Not saying it isn't possible. I'm just saying that I'm calling BS. I just don't think it'll work.
I've proved
Math,
Chat GPT wrong many times with tuning stuff. And I'm not saying that I'm the greatest tuner ever. It's just that I know, especially the ACES system, I know that system very well, and I know how to tune it. And I've screwed around with it a lot, just asking it questions and inputting stuff into it. And
right.
there's been times where it says certain
Yeah,
things. I'm like,
Josh just
well,
commented here about it
wouldn't it
too.
wouldn't it cause this if we did that? Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
And it's
it's like
like,
Josh
oh,
was talking about
upon further
that
something or
outside
other.
air temp. Oh, sorry, man. Well, I think we got a little connection problem there. We're locking
Yeah.
up a little bit. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you
No,
there. I was reading a comment there from Josh that said, wouldn't your
oh,
air
you're good.
temp sensor
I didn't even see it.
work to counter the outside air temps? And yes, it does, but you have to have those temperature based tables. So anything that's like engine coolant temp, you do have to make some adjustments in there. That how much there's several, from spark to even fueling. There's several temperature based, and you're right. The temperature sensor should do that, but they do kind of work hand in hand. But
I will say
they are
uh,
modifiers to
on the
your
kill shot
VE
mine,
table.
yeah, on my kill shot specifically, you can log. Um, well, I don't know if you can log it because I've never logged it, but on my gauge cluster, I can actually bring up estimated air temp, and it's way off uh, from whatever math it takes to get estimated air temp. Now I don't know, maybe mine's wrong, and something's going on with that, but it had said it was like I don't know, a 60, 70 degree day, and it estimated the air temp for, I think it was like 98 or 110 degrees or something like that. So
I'm still
that's
listening. I
not
got to mute myself for a
that's
second. I
not
got a
really
customer
anything
just
I ever it's not anything I ever actually looked into.
did you hear
And
me?
it just says, all it says is estimated air temp. Now, which air temp is it estimating? Is that estimating outside air temp, or what's it estimating? So, um, I don't know. I'll wait for Charlie to get back here. I don't think you're thinking about it wrong, though, Josh, to be honest with you. Um, I don't know as much about that stuff to really speak on it indefinitely. But like I said, I do know that whatever that estimated air temp is that I can pull up, that you can pull up and watch. You have to try it on your gauge cluster. Bring up a digital gauge and type in estimated air temp. See if it comes up for your system and see if it's accurate. I'm thinking that means for outside ambient temp, but I could be wrong with that too because you have Matt uh, reading, so I wouldn't think that it would be estimating that whenever it reads that live. Hey, maybe mine's messed up, and that's an issue that I have with the system as well. It very well could be, but I think Charlie must have got a phone call. I don't want to go too long without him to speak on anything here, but right. Eric English, you're watching. How's your build coming? Did you get an ACES kit yet or anything like that for your engine?
Hey, Nick, I'm here with a customer real quick, so I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm gonna pull up. If it doesn't freeze me. There we go. Somebody had asked in the groups a while back about follow timing, and I kind of wanted to go over that for a second here if Charlie's going to be on the phone. If I can do all this. Sorry about a lot of questions, to be honest. I'm also dealing with you. Hey, ask away, Josh. That's what we're here for. Type in anything you want to ask, and if I don't know it, then I'll ask Charlie, and if Charlie doesn't know it, we'll ask somebody who does. So I'm going to share my screen here, and let's see. Entire screen. There we go. I wanted to quickly go over, I have a video on it too, but I didn't necessarily go super in depth with follow timing. I know there wasn't one guy in particular I saw asking about it. He had said he made changes and did not see any improvement. So I'll pull up, let's see what this has for default in it with no tune. So it just has all negatives. So for follow timing, essentially it's your decel timing. So whenever you're off the throttle, decelerating, it's going to follow the follow base timing table all the way down until either you get back on the throttle and it moves back to MBT, or until you get back to an idle where it's going to switch back to the idle base timing table. So on a typical MBT timing table, which this is just the software. This is no tune, so there's nothing in here. But figure that your idle is somewhere, on this table, and then you have your cruise, which could be 40 or so, and then maybe you ramp it down a little bit to like 36, blah blah blah. And just a basic, and then this will ramp out up to wide open throttle. Say at wide open throttle, maybe you're going to be like 32 degrees of timing. And this is just, these values will all be in here with this, but this is the only area really I'm looking at, because the follow the base timing table usually starts at 4,000 RPM. So when you're coming down off the throttle, I'll open up an actual tune so we can get a good example here for this. Here's just a kill shot one. This is the default following table they give. So there's a hell of a jump right here from 25 down to 10. When you follow this table off throttle, typically, if you're cruising or whatever, you're going to drop down to vacuum. Say you were up in, cruising 60, 50, 40 even, it's going to come down and then it's going to go down. So if you picture like wide open throttle, just for example, if you were running 32 degrees at wide open throttle, you want to take your follow timing a little bit lower than MBT, and those are values you have to play with. How much you take it below MBT is really going to depend on your setup and your engine. But if I'm running 32 degrees of timing at wide open throttle, I might come in here at like 28, and then this is going to be. Oh, okay. I was just kind of going over follow timing with these guys. I didn't know how long you're.
That's awesome. I'm glad you had some guys come in there.
Well, I don't know if anybody actually came, but I just wanted to talk to myself, so I figured I'd talk to them.
All right.
I was just going to finish this up. When you're coming off the throttle, a couple degrees lower on follow timing than MBT, and your timing's obviously going to be a little bit lower up at wide open throttle, and then your cruise area down in through here is going to be a little bit higher. So say your cruise was, I don't know, like 38 or 40 or something. I'm going to maybe come down and make this like 32. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill, just to kind of ramp this in, I'm going to fill that column value in there. And then at your
can I interject something right there too, Nick?
Yeah, you sure can.
What you're saying. No. I do kind of what you're talking about, but what I do, a little hack I do is when it's running, he's not connected to a DCM, so you would normally have a button here, the tracer.
Oh, yeah, to track it. Yeah.
So, let's say you're cruising, cruising to 1,800, 2,000 RPMs down the road or whatever, and you let off the throttle and it comes down, you hear some popping or banging.
Yeah, you can pick.
Right what cell that you might be in, that you hear that pop and bang start, add a couple degrees, take a couple degrees out, whatever you need to do. That's a little hack I use is, you kind of could see, I wish we were connected so you could see those tracers.
Yeah.
But you can watch that dot follow around what cells, and, wherever you're letting off, if you're getting lots of pops and bangs and things like that, that one will help you move that around. But that's all I had on that. Just.
Oh yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I actually didn't even think of that at the time, at this particular moment in time. I usually actually never think about that unless I'm connected to a vehicle. Right. But down here towards your idle area, let's just say you're idling at 800 RPM. I set this as usually where my idle timing would be. just say you idle at 18 degrees, which, well, if you're running 32 wide open, you might only idle at say 15 degrees, And then what I've been doing lately, and it seems to help with kind of getting that idle not to hang low, is I add a degree in each of these rows. So I come down here and I make this 17, and then I'll fill this, which that'll make that row 16. And then I'll leave these 3 rows of 32 here. And then I'll fill this. And this seems to be, and then up in here, like you could leave this like this. This up in here, this is an area you're never going to touch for niceness of everything. I would just keep these values lower just in case there was some crazy reason that you would ever hit these. So I'd just come up here and do like 11, 12, 13 or something like that.
And there could be some things behind the scenes that the computer may be referencing that at weird times too.
Yeah, and I have noticed that it will.
What are those values up there?
What's that?
What are some of the values? I mean, in that area, if your idle started to decline, maybe it'll help pull some timing out to bring it back down to.
Oh yeah, if you were in your idle base table, you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then just fill this. And this particular way that I just did this, this is exactly how I run my follow timing table. And I have a very clean decel. It doesn't go lean, it doesn't pop. It's very clean decel.
And then you can see that on the data with your wideband when you let off. You're not.
Yes. I'm actually, to be honest with you, on my decels a tad bit rich, and that is mainly due to the fact that I'm still in the process of getting my VE table more dialed in. But if you're having super lean on decel, that follow base timing table is definitely one aspect of it. But these rows right here are going to be, that's where you're going to be decelerating in, and it all depends. You could be clear up here too, but for sure on these bottom rows, I always add a little bit more fuel to these bottom rows, and that gives you a nice decel. Kind of something like that. It's all, you got to play with it. You got to do it for your engine and everything else. But, those are just some basic tips there.
I like it.
So, but yeah, you're back now. So I'm going to get out of that.
Yeah. I'm going to have to get out of here in a couple minutes. I've got a tune tonight.
I actually do have to get, because I
appreciate everybody getting in here though. I mean, we would like to see some people. We want to see some people's rides. We want to talk about them, So if we want to get on here live with us, and we'll bring you up on the screen. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. We'd love to be able to see them and chat about them a little bit. What you've done, And it's got some. I mean, how many people have an old? Was it a Delta 88 with a turbocharger on it? I mean, fuel injected turbochargers. So it's a pretty cool little setup. So all that's pretty awesome to us, man. We want to see it. So
I don't care. I don't care what anyone has. It's still going to be cool,
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's like a squatted truck.
I don't even care about that, man. If you did something cool, engine wise, and I'm not saying I'll drive it, but
those are about the only builds I hate on. And not even like a little bit squatted in the back. That's totally fine. But like the super crazy ones, you see that basically the back bumper's dragging, and you can't see over the hood.
When they're the ones where they're outlawing them in these towns and stuff.
Yeah,
finding people.
Yeah. Well, I got to get back with that guy too. He's heading out for Ponies in the Smokies, I think 3 a.m. Wednesday morning, and we're going to try to do some final touches on tune because if he's down there with my stickers, my name's on the line, I want it to be nice.
Yeah. We'll do some. Maybe I'll have the boat in here. We'll show you the progress where I'm at on it. So
Yeah, and like I kind of want to say the same thing I said last week. You know, if anybody watched us this far, if anybody can think of a better day than Monday night, please let us know. I mean, we're open to suggestions. We do not have to do this on Mondays. We can do it on a different day where more people can be available. So just let us know.
All right, brother. I gotta get out of here.
Yes, sir. I'm out of here too. We'll talk to everybody later.
All right, see you guys.